Hello, friends! Today we are going to learn about Geographical Information Systems, or GIS for short. Okay, you've heard this term GIS before, but what does it mean and how does GIS help us in our everyday lives? GIS is a technology used to describe vegetation, infrastructures, and spatial references on Earth. We use GIS in our daily life, like when we are watching weather patterns, mapping an animal's day range of travel, directions, examining criminal activity in a given area, following the spread of a disease. GIS is a type of cartography, or the art of map making. A cartographer is someone who creates maps, whether it is by hand or by remote sensing imagery. There are two ways GIS computer programs model the world's spatial differences. These are vector models, raster models. A vector model depicts information using polygons, lines, and points. Vector models are useful when one is depicting data that has shapes and definite boundaries. They represent the true shape of GIS collected data. Examples of vector models are road maps, country boundaries. A raster model depicts information using an XY grid matrix. Each pixel on the grid is called a cell. Each cell represents one value of data. Examples of raster models are maps for topography, satellite imagery. Layers. Each topic of data is called a layer. The layer depicts a specific topic of data, such as vegetation, road and buildings, land use, imagery, and elevation. When the layers are fused together, we get a detailed, comprehensive map. Imagery. Imagery is a type of data that is used in the form of a photograph. Remote sensing is a method of imagery in which data is collected from a far distance away from the subject. Types of remote sensing include aerial photography, satellite imagery. Remote sensing is beneficial because it gathers much more data than someone collecting data on the ground. It is also most accurate, depicting spatial reference between objects on Earth. GPS. GPS stands for Geographical Position System. A GPS uses satellites to find the specific location of an object on the ground. A collection of GPS data composed in a software program is GIS. So how can a biologist use GIS and GPS? Well, a biologist can use GPS information to accurately map an animal's day range and home range. The home range is the area the animal species has habituated in a specific amount of time. The day range is how far and what area is occupied by the animals in one day. A researcher can place collars with GPS systems on the animal to track its spatial movements. This information, along with vegetation, elevation, and other data layers, can create a distinct map of the animal's activity and map out the habitat. Well, I hope you enjoyed learning about GIS today. Never stop exploring!